Okay, so what have we done so far? Well, so far we have been introduced to the main PMWeb page, the landing page. Maggie's given us an overview of the different features of that main page. Maggie also led us through the PMWeb website, some of the tips and tricks and records pages, the walk-me's, and some of the other resources that are available on the CDOT PMWeb website. Then I took over and I just now demonstrated for you all the ways in which we can pull an individual project schedule using our active project and guided help within PMWeb. And we also looked at a programmatic view or snapshot of an entire program's worth of project milestone dates. And we finally looked at combination and companion projects. At this point, we're going to transition to the project delivery plan. And again, we'll focus in on a single project, and we're going to review the project delivery plan for that project.
Okay, well, we're back on our home screen, and let's first make sure that our active project is the correct project that we want to be active. In my case, 25806, which is the project that I wish to pull the PDP for. All right. And there's a couple ways we could get to this once again. Let's use our guided help to get to our project delivery plan. And once again, I'm just going to start typing project delivery plan. And of course, it has populated for me right here. I'm going to go ahead and select that. And now the guided help is asking me, well, what would I like to do? Do I want to create a new PDP? Or do I want to open a saved record? Again, if I was a project manager and maybe I want to create a new PDP for a project that I'm scoping, I could go here, but I'm going to open a saved record. All right, now it's saying, go ahead and click an active record. We only have one PDP in this case. So I'm going to go ahead and click that active link. And again, we can see the date that it was updated and by whom right over here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and select that active link. Okay, now guided help is asking me, what would I like to do? Do I want to edit the PDP? Do I want to run the associated report, which basically means making a local copy as a PDF or in Excel or in Word, etc. And there's some other options, including submitting it to the workflow and requesting specialty endorsements. Again, if I'm a PM or project manager and I am ready to submit my PDP out to my various stakeholders internal here at CDOT, this is what I would pick. Well, in this case, I want to run the report as a specialty unit in headquarters or in the regions. I want to save a copy of that PDP. So I'm going to run the associated report. Guided help is now directing me to the top ribbon. It says, click here to expand the report options menu, this little caret. So I'm going to do that. And it's saying, go ahead and click BI, Power BI reporting. So I'll do that. And now it's directing me to this little eyeball. I call it the all-seeing eye, or the Egyptian eye. In PMWeb, this is called the report viewer. So it says, go ahead and open your report viewer. So we'll go ahead and click on that. All right, when we click on the all-seeing eye, that should bring us into the report viewer. And you can see the guided help, even in this new window, is still helping us along here. And it's giving me more suggestions on ways to proceed. I'm actually on the screen that I want to be on, so I'm going to go ahead and X out of that. Here in a minute, we'll go ahead and print ourselves a locally stored version of this. But first, let's go through the elements of the project delivery plan. Again, this is in pre-construction, beginning with our pre-scoping/scoping phase of the project. So let's just take a quick look at everything that is contained in the PDP. And as you can see, we've actually got 20 pages worth of data. So there's quite a bit here. We can page through either by using this left-hand bar and the scroll, or we can use these arrows to advance the page. I'm going to go ahead and use the arrows, but you could use either. So first we have the basic project information. We have the date that the PDP was approved. We have some endorsements here. In an ideal world, this PDP would be circulated to a wide variety of stakeholders in the region and at headquarters. and we would have a number of endorsement dates here off to the right. In this case, we've just got a few, but different projects will have different levels of endorsements that they've followed through with. If we advance this, we then have our scope. This is our scope of work as recorded in PMWeb. If there have been any significant scope adjustments or changes as part of our change control process, those records would be listed here down below. In this particular case, the original scope still stands. Moving forward, now we have all the various stakeholders that the project manager has assigned to their project. We have obviously the role, the individual assigned, contact information, etc. So we've actually got a number of people who are involved in this project, and that continues on to page 4. Page 5 is our schedule management. As you can see here, we've got our major milestone dates, obviously the original date that those dates were planned for, and then as we achieve those dates, that goes in this column right here. I'm recording this on November 12th, 2024, so we're just a couple days away from advertisement, but that's why the remainder of these blocks remain empty. This project is still in process, actually getting ready to advertise as I record this. We did have one significant schedule change as part of our change control process. This was back from August 20th, and this was a small shift in the advertisement date from October 31st to November 14th. If I wanted to, this is an active link. I could click on that, and that would take us back into the PMWeb main site, and I could look at the details of that change. Maggie's actually going to lead us through that with a different example project in this same training. So I won't do that here for us today. Now we get into our deliverables management. And the way that this is organized for deliverables is we start with our pre-scoping stage, which they're calling initiation. And it leads us from one milestone to the next all the way up through construction. So here we have sort of our pre-scoping. As these individual tasks are completed and the completion date is entered, these boxes are checked. Moving on to our scoping phase, obviously we have a number of tasks per discipline. We have the individual or individuals responsible for that, and again, the date that was completed. Just paging through these, here's our equivalent FIR level for the deliverables, moving into FOR/final design, and the final PS&E package. All of these deliverables are viewable outside of this particular report viewer. Back in the main PMWeb site, we have an entire menu selection for the deliverables, and Maggie's going to talk about that. But for now, we're just going through the PDP, add and contract phase, and then as we kind of get that transition, that handoff to construction, still a couple tasks outstanding, which makes sense because advertisement is here in a couple days. And then construction, and then we get to our finals, project closure. All right, so now we're on page 15 of 20. We get into our financials, the cost management. This is basically our project estimate capture, which we're actually going to talk about here in a minute as part of this course. But here we have our RUDM plus C matrix. We have our estimated cost, encumbered, expended, and remaining categories. Again, if we had significant changes to these during the pre-construction process, we could enter some change control and those records would appear here. But this is a great snapshot at a glance of the current health of the project financials. Staying on that financial piece, now we come to the construction forecast, or what we used to call drawdowns. What we see here is a standard bell curve beginning in May of 2025, leading us, it looks like, through about April of 2026. And of course, the same data is presented here in table form, and the anticipated expenditures per month following that bell curve shape for a total of around just under $22.5 million total construction cost. Now looking at risk management, you can see some different categories of risk. We have the risk itself, the description. Each of these is a separate hot link. If I was more interested in learning about one of these risks, I could of course click on that link and it would take us to a detail. Nothing particularly of note here in the procurement management other than a consultant task order for surveying. We have some communication management. If the PM so desired, they could input information here regarding to communication. You see here they have a monthly progress meeting that they've entered. And finally, we have some other miscellaneous categories here. And that is it for the PDP. Now, if I want to go ahead and save myself a local copy of this PDP, I'm going to go to the diskette shape right here and click this little down arrow. And I can export this in a number of ways. I'm going to go ahead and export it as a PDF. And there we go. It's already saved the file for me. Obviously, I can save that in the directory of my choice. And we now have a PDF version of the PDP. So there we go.